and hell, and that's why we all worship Three Rivers Hotel. There's Teeth Brothers Camp on the banks of the Star, where men from all nations and walks of life are. And it's funny to listen to the stories they tell every night round the bar at Three Rivers Hotel. And we curse at the things that go wrong through the day, and vow that we'll snatch it and go far away. But when day is done and we're soon feeling well, the laughter rings out from Three Rivers Hotel. And the night after payday, there's fun and romance. It's a night for the families to sing and to dance. You can let down your hair and come out of your shell. You can do your own thing in Three Rivers Hotel. If you listen to the bosses when the night's getting late, on the progress they're making, the best in the state, they'd be finished this line and the maintenance as well if they work like they bragged at Three Rivers Hotel. All together now. From Townsville to Greenbelt, we're building the line, through the ranges and the gorges and the great nickel mine. The long days are dusty and hotter than hell, and that's why we all worship Three Rivers Hotel. Oh, the long days are dusty and hotter than hell, and that's why we all worship Three Rivers Hotel. When my traveling days are done, will you still be with me when all the songs have been sung? Standing right beside me, watching the grandkids grow. I've got everything but nothing without you. I've got mountains, I've got rivers, got a chandelier of stars, got blossoms on the bloodwoods, friends all around the country, and a heart as good as new. I've got everything but nothing without you. Too much time for thinking, it's gonna drive me mad. I'll walk along the river, I'll watch a motel movie, but lovers make me sad. I've got everything but nothing without you. I've got mountains, I got rivers, got a chandelier of stars, I've got blossoms on the bloodwoods, got friends all around the country, and a heart as good as new. I've got everything but nothing without you. When this life that binds me turns me loose, lets me rest on my laurels, will you put your head on my shoulder and share the peaceful years. I've got everything but nothing without you. I've got mountains, I've got rivers, got a chandelier of stars, got blossoms on the bloodwoods, friends all around the country, and a heart as good as new. I've got everything but nothing without you. I've got mountains, I got rivers, got a chandelier of stars, got blossoms on the bloodwoods, friends all around the country, and a heart as good as new. I've got everything but nothing without you. I've got everything but nothing without you. Well, I've ripped and dug out burrows on a sandy bullock hill. Eradicating rabbits doesn't take a lot of skill, but a boy born in the Mallee doesn't find them hard to kill. No self-respecting farmer lets a rodent eat his wheat. He'll shoot 'em and he'll skin 'em and he'll dress 'em up to eat. But since the spread of mixo, he's almost got 'em beat. And I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy, where little town dogs howl at the morning train, where a cocky makes a living on 12 inches of rain, where his woman provides and is rare to complain. And I still love the smell of that sandy soil. Some say it's dusty, some say it's gold, 'cause it grows the sweetest fat lambs the market's ever sold. And I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. No, I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy, where you could lose an ear on duck opening day, where slickers bring their shotguns from miles away and shoot the life out of shags and swans that fly their way, where a bloke grows as stocky as a Mallee bull, where they come from miles around to see the tractor pull, when the paddocks are clean and seed silos are full. And I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. Well, I've ripped and dug out burrows on a sandy bullock hill. Eradicating rabbits doesn't take a lot of skill, and a boy born in the Mallee doesn't find 'em hard to kill. But they'll never be as rare as a quandong tree. My grandma made some jam for my brothers and me. They're like the Mallee fowl you hardly ever see. But I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. No, I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. No, I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. I've been around the world a couple of times, or maybe more. Seen the sights, I've had delights on every foreign shore. But when my mates all ask me the place that I adore, I tell them right away. What do we tell them? Give me a home among the gum trees, with lots of plum trees, A sheep, a tuak, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back, veranda out the front, and an old rocking chair. You can see me in the kitchen cooking up a roast or Vegemite on toast, just you and me, a cup of tea. Later on we'll settle down and go out on the porch and watch the possums play. Give me a home among the gum trees with lots of plum trees. A sheep, a tuak, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back, veranda out the front, and an old rocking chair. There's a Safeways up the corner and a Woolies down the street, and a brand new place they've opened up, but they regulate the heat. But I trade them all tomorrow for a little.
Well, I've walked a mile or two in my lifetime, and I've travelled down some muddy tracks and dry. 'Cause if I wanted to get where I was going, I knew I'd just have to walk that country mile. Now a country mile would be the longest distance a man could ever travel when he's down, and you curse the never-ending road before you when you think you'll never make it into town. But you meet a friend or two along the highway, and you learn a lot you never knew before. And if the journey takes a lifetime when you thought a year or two, well, you just don't give up easy anymore. And I've walked a mile or two in my lifetime, and I've travelled down some muddy tracks and dry. 'Cause if I wanted to get where I was going, I knew I'd just have to walk that country mile. That long mile has shown me changes in the people and the land. But I'll bet the road to Marble Bar's no better than when I drove with trucks and caravans. And the country bloke is still the same old battler, no matter what the place he's working in. And although I've covered many miles, I still can't wait to see what the next long country mile will bring. Well, I've walked a mile or two in my lifetime, and I've travelled down some muddy tracks and dry. 'Cause if I wanted to get where I was going, I knew I'd just have to walk that country mile. Yes, I knew I'd have to walk that country mile.
If I could just ask the mourners at the back to please move forward so you can hear throughout the whole service, please. We've got quite a large group here. Thank you. Thank you very much. We've got some beautiful words being said in the service today, and I don't want anyone to miss them. Today's service for Neville Elphinstone is very sad and emotional time for family and friends. But it will also be a celebration of a life of a man highly respected in our community. We come together to say our final goodbye to Neville, someone who has touched each of our lives in a profound way. Although we have a powerful sense of loss, we do not want someone that we love to suffer. When death occurs, it unites us in a way that perhaps no other human experience does. To Neville's family, please know our hearts ache for your loss, and we stand with you in your grief. We share this sorrow with you all, and we want you to know that you do not walk this path alone. Each of you will have your own personal and fond memories of Neville and the impact his life has had on yours. My name is Penny Williams, a civil celebrant. On behalf of Lois and her children, Scott, Heidi, Troy, Christy and their families, I thank all of you for coming today to remember Neville. And we welcome family and friends streaming online. We have profound grief today as we say goodbye to Neville. There can be no doubt that we have shed many tears, and we will shed many more. Our hearts are broken, and Neville is going to be missed more than words will ever say. May Neville's love be reflected in everyone that knew him and continue to live on through the warm memories and beautiful legacy of love for everyone here today. It is with love and gratitude that we now commit all these wonderful memories to be locked away in our hearts. We are very grateful for the privilege of having shared life with you. Today's service will be a celebration of Neville's life, and it will be remembered for many sorrowful reasons. That the world has lost a loving husband of Lois, married for 51 years, father, brother, brother-in-law, grandfather, uncle, friend, and highly respected man. Neville loved gardening, and the garden he grew with Lois at Myella is currently in full bloom, and it looks beautiful. Neville enjoyed motorbike riding, wood cutting, falling trees, fishing, camping, crayfishing, and travel too. Amidst our grief and loss, we are grateful, Neville, for your love, quietness, and gentleness. You were a man of not many words, but you were a deep thinker and loved us all, and we love you. We have gratitude for all the things you have taught us in life. Everything we have learnt from you is still learnt. Everything you have done is still done. Everyone you loved is still loved, and your memory we will cherish. You leave us with strength and pride to do what is good and right, and your memory will guide us just as you did when you were by our side. And for this we say thank you. We are truly grateful for the privilege of having shared our lives with you. We will remember you by our memories for as long as we live. We will reminisce about the joyous moments and about the lessons that we learnt from you, the wisdom you parted on us, and the love that we shared. As we remember Neville's life, we can think about the values he upheld, the bonds he nurtured, and the love that he spread. Neville's legacy is in the lives he touched, and the hearts he warmed, and the smiles he ignited. You are so dearly loved. You are in our hearts and in our minds, and we will carry you with us as we move forward with our lives. Your memory will be with us every day. You will be remembered and cherished, and that love will never die. We will hold you close within us, and there you will remain throughout our lives. Your kind and generous nature we commit to our memories. Your love, humour and friendship we commit to our hearts. Those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day. Unseen, unheard, but always near. So loved, so missed, so dear. Norris McNamara, Neville's brother-in-law, is going to read the eulogy. If I could please ask him to come forward. You need a drink, Norris.
Thank you. Thank you, Penny. What a privilege it is to stand up here today in front of all you people. I had no idea that Neville was as popular as he's turned out to be. His name was Neville Ballantyne Elphinstone. The Ballantyne was his grandmother's family name, and he should have had a third name, Patience. He was the fourth child of Neil and Jean Elphinstone. Had three older siblings and two younger ones. In his younger life, the older siblings bullied him, and the younger ones, if he touched them, they ratted on him. But that's where his patience shone out. He hung in there. The three older ones moved off, working life, and a bit later on, the two younger ones moved out. So Neville finished up with Mum and Dad in a 5-bedroom home running the farm. They lived at Myella and milked the cows, Neville did, attended school at Myella and afterwards the Boat Harbour, left school at 14 to fill in on the family property when his father took ill. The weekends he also spent time attending the local dances at Myella, Sisters Creek and Urbana. This is where Neville met his wife-to-be, Lois. They courted for 3 years, and with that stage Neville had worn out a car and a half, travelling from Myella to Urbana. I must add, the first car was a Austin A40 and it was half wore down when he got it. Anyway, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall the day that Neville asked Bill Medwin, could he take his daughter's hand in marriage. I reckon it was after he helped Bill milk the cows, because, and I bet London to a brick, Neville wasn't looking Bill in the eye when he asked him. And before, after he started the request, I bet Bill asked him to repeat it, because the first time he would have mumbled. They finally got married, and before that, the patients came into vogue again, because it was about 6 o'clock when Neville asked Bill in the dairy about the hand in marriage, and it was 9 o'clock that night before he got the verdict. So his patients came into vogue again. Neville was employed on the Forest Commission at Laponia and later on at Wynyard. So he and Lois got married and they bought their house, the railway house at Myella, where they lived all their married life, and Lois is still there. Neville felled trees for friends with a chainsaw that's sitting down here. It's probably had an upgrade or two over the years, so that won't be forgotten. Spent his time fighting fires with the forestry, and also worked down on the Franklin River in the kerfuffle was down there trying to stop the dam. In 1990, Neville broke his fibula when a log rolled on him. It slowed him down for a while, but he kept going. Firefighting for the forestry with Kevin Fielding and some of the other workmates. And it was Kevin Fielding and Neville that saw a Tasmanian tiger out west of Cone, when they were doing one of the rounds, and lo and behold, Wind News turned up at Neville's house to get confirmation of what they saw at Wester Cane. Nobody else ever saw the tiger, but they did go back a couple of days later and the footprints were in the mud, so it was definitely there. Neville enjoyed hunting with Jeff Walker, playing badminton, bowls every long weekend. Easter and Christmas holidays were spent at Lois's family shack, the Arthur River. Neville and Lois's dad Bill spent many hours fishing, cocky salmon fishing, cray fishing for Church Rock, and pulling the cray pots. And there's one of them down there, he's still not worn out, a bit of life left in him yet, so these boys can probably take over where Neville left off. The rest of the family would be back at the shack, sitting and waiting for somebody to turn up and fire up the generator. Time was also spent wallaby and duck shooting. Scott and Heidi can recall travelling to the shack in the canopy on the back of the single cab Ford Courier ute. When Troy arrived, Lois would nurse him in the front seat. Car seats were not compulsory back then. Once Christy arrived, Neville purchased the green dual cab Hilux. Neville and Lois had a Yamaha two-wheeler motorbike and would dink Scott and Heidi round Church Rock. Neville and Lois decided to purchase a couple of tents so the family could go camping in other places other than Arthur River. The first trip was to Kitchen Camp at Sandy Cape. The Hilux canopy was packed brim with cray pots, ring nets strapped to the roof. The family arrived at camp, which was full of campers. Some of these campers are here with us today, and could still remember that. The camping bug set in. The family also went camping at Greens Creek, Coles Bay, Mount Wellington National Park. Neville and Lois then purchased three four-wheel motorbikes, and they used to take those on trailers wherever they went. Christmas lunch was often enjoyed at Sandy Cape, with roast meal cooked in the camp oven. Over 30 years, Neville has spent Christmas holidays at Sandy Cape, only missing one, Christmas due to poor health. Neville enjoyed cray fishing and setting the net using his boat at Sandy Cape. The last few years, it was difficult for Neville to get in and get out of the boat, so he would let Bradley, Wilbur and Scott and Rick take over the reins, but Neville would always go and keep an eye on the boys. The West Coast was not always on Neville's side. Once the family and their friends became stranded in the sand dunes at the Interview Beach due to heavy rain, because it rained in at Sandy Cape 80 millimetres. It was rain causing the Pedder River to become too deep to cross. We also recall Sandy Cape trip when it rained on pack-up day. Everyone was packing up and quickly as possible because it was raining, and Neville reported that he'd lost the Hilux keys. So everyone started looking for the keys. His Hilux started to get unpacked, so all the camping gear that was dry got wet to check for the keys. After about 30 minutes, Neville found the keys in the coat he was wearing. Kirsty was not impressed and told Dad so, that she was going to put him into a nursing home. He never quite made it. Neville would often get on the port with the Sandy Cape crew. He luckily left some of it for today at the cemetery, and would always make sure that all the port supply was finished before he would offer his supply around. He wasn't silly. Since Neville's passing, his part supply was located. It was shared by the family at his burial. It was today. Lowers was not impressed one night when Neville indulged too much port and was looking to hide his dog, Grover, which had passed away a few years before. So he was in a pretty bad way that night. Troy is a keen fisherman like his father. Took his dad on the last fishing trip in the boat at Easter this year. In May this year, the Pedder River struck again when Neville, Dudley and Merv lost their bikes. They got washed away. They all got out, but they were wet and they crawled up the beach, sheltered under some trees and sent out a PLB to notify somebody they were in a bit of trouble. Well, buggered if that patience didn't click in again, because Neville just told them to calm down, somebody would turn up and rescue them, which is what happened. That was Neville's final trip to Sandy Cape. Neville loved going to Cedric and Robin Whitehouse's shack on No Man's Creek with Dudley, Jack Sullivan and Merv. We are told a lot of yarns were told and shared with a lot of port consumed. They would all go exploring in the four-wheelers and fishing for flounder. Neville and Lowers enjoyed travelling interstate and overseas. Trips were taken to Cape York with Heidi, Bradley and the Rocky Cape Rebels, two half loops of Australia, Western Australia side, were also completed in a tent and in the caravan. Neville and Lowers also travelled to Flinders Island to visit rallies there. Helen and myself, various trips. They also took to South Australia to visit Lois's cousin David and Margaret and Auntie Anne and Uncle Russ, who always enjoyed they always enjoyed. David took Neville ploughing the wheat field and fox hunting, which he thoroughly enjoyed. Neville, also known as Pebbles, was always a man of a few words until he had a few beers and a glass of port. A lot of us experienced that. In the last 6 years he had battled with cancer. He rarely complained, just took it in his stride. 6 years ago, cancer was found in his femur. The femur was removed and replaced with a titanium rod. A hip replacement was also carried out. Heidi recalled visiting her dad at St Vincent's Hospital in Melbourne. The nurses came around and asked Neville how his pain was after the major surgery. Neville replied and said that he had no pain, so the nurse didn't believe him because he wanted to get back home to Myella. Recently in the Burnie Hospital, he would tell the nurses his pain was 2 out of 10, when really it was 8 out of 10. Neville never gave up hope, always putting on a brave face for his family. Neville was a man who rarely growled at his family. The times he did growl, you could count on the fingers of one hand. Neville would tell Troy off when he'd go to bed dirty without having a shower. Do you still do that, Troy? Nothing has changed. There's a dobber or two round here, I think. Neville was not happy with Lois one day when they were wood cutting at Miuna. She accidentally hit him in the head. It was very quiet around the tea table that night. Scott, Heidi and Christy were told off when they laughed at brother Troy, who had to suck yoghurt up through a straw with the mesh dressing over his head after he split his face open when he fell off his push bike. Neville, Pop, growled at Cruz. Well, Cruz, he's a real lucky young man. Today, he was stood up to the task. He was one of the pallbearers for his grandfather. But a few years ago, Neville built a shed, a 2-bay shed with 4 doors in the front and a side door. He had the caravan in one side, the trailer in the other. Cruz hopped on the back of the trailer and started bouncing up and down, and it rolled forward. Poked through a hole in the door. Half the trailer pole went out through the door. Well, Cruz, you're a very lucky young man, because if anybody else had been your pop, you probably wouldn't sit down for a week. And that there again, that's when the patients came in. That's when Heidi was advised to send Cruz to daycare. Neville loved his family, including his grandchildren, Ella, Cruz, Alicia, Kayla and Lucas. Neville's family are going to miss him. We're all going to miss him. We'll hold on to the best memories forever. Finally, a dynasty lasting 118 years has been broken. William Elphinstone selected land at Myalla in 1905. Neville's grandfather, and Neville's the last Elphinstone that's lived at Myalla. Rest in peace, Neville. We'll never forget you. Thank you.
Fantastic, Norris. You did a fantastic job. By no means is it easy to stand here and talk about someone that you love so dearly. Neville's oldest daughter, Heidi, has written some words, and on behalf of her, it's very much an honour, I will read them for her. Dad, your timing was poor, leaving us 3 days before Christmas, but then I thought, there is never an ideal time to pass away. I wanted you to live forever, but unfortunately, we all know that isn't possible. You weren't gifted with the longevity gene like Auntie Jean was. Christmas Eve was not the same without you. Normally, Cruz would have helped you pack the back of your Hilux to the top of your canopy. For one bloke, you sure did take a lot of stuff, camping, even a rake. I was sad when you didn't turn up for Christmas lunch, all packed up, ready to head to the Cape. Christmas afternoon would usually be spent pulling you out of the sand, cutting up into the Horton camp. Last year, we didn't have to pull you out because you finally took my advice and drove the Hilux like you stole it. For 6 years, I've been taking you to Melbourne, Hobart, Launceston and Ulverston for doctor's appointments, scans and operations. Christy and Troy also have helped. On the 8th of November, we got the bad news that you would be here for this Christmas but not the next. It would seem you had other ideas. I think you thought that if you could not come to Sandy Cape, then you would upset everyone else's Sandy Cape plans too. Over the last 6 months, your health deteriorated quickly. After 10 days in the Wynyard nursing home, you called it a day. You are now free from pain. I will miss you forever. We lost the best dad, father-in-law, and pop in the world. Rest in peace, Dad. Thank you for everything. See you later. 6 of the 2nd, 48. Heidi, Bradley, Ella and Cruz. We will now have a show of photographs of Neville's life to remind us of the caring, quiet, intelligent, man of few words, deep thinker, loved his motorbike riding, loved his wood cutting, and camping, loved his crayfishing and Sandy Cape, loved his drink of port, but most of all, Neville was a loving husband of 51 years to Lois, loved by his children and grandchildren, and loved by all.
Hey, true blue, don't say you've gone. Say you've knocked off for a smoko, and you'll be back later on. Hey, true blue, hey, true blue, give it to me straight, face to face. Are you really disappearing? Just another dying race. Hey, true blue, true blue, is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your mate when he's in a fight? Or just Vegemite? True blue, I'm asking you. Hey, true blue, can you bear the load? Will you tie it up with wire just to keep the show on the road? Hey, true blue, hey, true blue, now be fair dinkum, is your heart still there? If they sell us out like sponge cake, do you really care? Hey, true blue, true blue, is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your mate when she's in a fight? Or just Vegemite? True blue, I'm asking you. True blue, is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your mate when he's in a fight? Or just Vegemite? True blue, true blue.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads take take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. I hear her voice in the morning hours, she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday, yesterday. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads, country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads, take me home, country roads, take me home, country roads.
I saw tears of sadness, but also tears of joy looking at those photos of everyone that's here today. If I could ask you all to stand, Jen's going to come to the front and we're going to say the Lord's Prayer all together, which is in your service booklet.
Excuse me, I just have to collect myself. Okay. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Jen. You can all take your seat. Neville was a wonderful husband, father, brother, brother-in-law, father-in-law, grandfather, and friend so loving and kind. What beautiful memories you leave behind. Sharing and caring and always content, loved and respected wherever you went. A happy smile, a heart of gold. You were the best this world could hold. A special husband, father and brother, and grandfather so kind and true. What beautiful memories we all have of you. A poem by Anonymous. We're here today to say our final goodbye to Neville. We feel grief for the loss of him and gratitude at the same time for the memories that we are fortunate enough to share with him. At times like this, we are reminded of the fragility of life. We will find comfort in Neville's memory, Neville's wisdom and kindness, and lessons learned with his wisdom and love that has been imparted on us. As we bid farewell to Neville, we have also celebrated his well-lived life with tears and laughter. This will give us strength to move forward. May your love be reflected in all who knew you, and may you continue to live on through the lives of these people who loved you dearly. Before the final words, let's take a moment of silence, a moment to reflect on our love for Neville and his well-lived life. The final words. We're glad that Neville lived. We're glad that we saw his face and felt the pressure of his hand. We cherish the memory of these words and deeds and character. We cherish the memory of Neville's devoted family life, his concern and care, his vitality and involvement, of his loyalty to his family and friends, his place in history. We cherish his friendship, and most of all, his love. We should resolve at moments like these that while we live, we will strive to make our living too of real worth and carry on Neville's goodness to others. In the consciousness of work well done and a life well lived, we now leave Neville in peace while thinking of him. Let us leave this place in quietness of spirit, conscious of the things that really matter in life, and resolved to live this way towards each other. Neville, thank you for being you. May you rest in peace with the knowledge that our love goes with you. We are truly grateful for the privilege of having shared life with you. With love, we shall leave you in peace. Rest easy, Neville. We love you. That is the conclusion of our service. With enduring love and respect, we have bid Neville farewell. May you find strength and support in the love and memories you hold of Neville. This concludes our loving ceremony honouring Neville's life. Thank you for being here, sharing in this time of farewell, of love and remembrance. We will now follow Lois and her beautiful family to the refreshments area, and we can share stories and memories about Neville and shed some more tears and also celebrate his life with laughter too, while finding comfort in keeping Neville's spirit alive. Following the refreshments here at Parkside, the family's going to the Somerset Hotel after, if anyone would like to join them there.
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your track. And until we meet again, may God hold you safely in the palm of his hand. May the hills come come down to greet you. May the rocks give shelter in the storm. May the dust be soft beneath your feet, and the dark give rest before the dawn. And until we meet again, may God hold you safely in the palm of His hands, 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 safely in the palm of His hands. May your life have many memories. May your death be sweet and full of peace. May your hope last an eternity, and your joy carry on and never cease. And until we meet again, may God hold you safely in the palm of His hands. And until we meet again, may God hold you safely in the palm of His hands. Let's sing that. In the palm of His hand, in the palm of His hand, in the palm of His hand, safely in the palm of His hand. Go again. In the palm of His hand, in the palm of His hand, in the palm of His hand, safely in the palm of His hand.